Hello, welcome back to another tutorial. Today we'll learn how to make this crochet alpine stitch. For this tutorial, you'll need a 4mm crochet hook and a medium weight yarn. To begin, first make a slip knot. Once you make a slip knot, for this tutorial we're going to work with a stitch of 20. So chain 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So once we have our 20 stitches, we are going to work the setup rows that will enable us to begin the alpine stitch. Pull up a loop. Make sure the loop is a bit loose on your hook. Not too big of a space, just a little. And then turn your work, and then we're going to work on the back bump. So work a row of single crochets on the back bump, and the single crochet stitch is very simple. You just put your hook through the loop, pull up a loop, and yarn over, pull through all two, and that is a single crochet. So work 20 single crochets. I'll meet you at the end. And there we have row 1. And for row 2, you can always, there are many ways you can start a row, but for me, how I normally start a row, again, just make sure the loop is a bit loose on your hook, that it can turn over like that. And we are going to just put our hook through and work a single crochet like that. And since it is a double crochet row, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my hook on the left side of the two loops. So from the left, pull up a loop and work another second double crochet on top of the first one. And that is how I start my rows, and it helps align it on a straight line. And so this second row is a row of double crochets only. And to work a double crochet, you yarn over, put your hook through both loops, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2. You have 2 remaining, yarn over, pull through the other 2. So that is how you work a double crochet. And this whole row will be a row of double crochets on both loops. So work your double crochets. I'll meet you at the end. And remember to work the last stitch like that. And row 2 is complete, and it is a row of double crochets. So we're going to work our third row, and our third row is now one of the 4 row repeat, and it is also again just a row of single crochets. And to work a single crochet, like I said, I start my row by making sure this loop is a bit loose on my hook. And then to work my single crochet, I just put my hook through both loops, yarn over, pull through. I have 2 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 2, and I'm going to work these single crochets across. And row 2 is complete. This is one of our 4 row repeat. So we're going to start our row 4, which is our row 2 of our 4 row repeat. And to work row 4, we start by making our first stitch of the row, which is a single crochet and another single crochet on top of that single crochet. And this row is going to be an alternate of a front post double crochet on the double crochet stitch from the 2 rows down, and the next stitch is just a double crochet on the single crochet row from the row below. And to work a front post double crochet stitch, we are going to work on the second double crochet from the row below, from the double crochet row. And to work that front post double crochet, we're going to yarn over, put our hook on the front like that, okay, that and then you're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. And we are going to make sure to pull up the loop as long as the first double crochet, because this chain 2 here acts as our first double crochet of the row. So make sure to pull up this loop as long as the same height as your double crochet, and then yarn over, pull through the first 2. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 2, or the 2 remaining loops, and then that is your first front post double crochet. And then the next stitch is a double crochet on the single crochet row. So remember, we skipped this single crochet here and worked the row below, so this won't be worked on. We'll work on the next stitch, and on that next stitch we're just going to yarn over, put our hook through both loops, pull up a loop, pull through until it is the same height as your double crochet, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Okay, I will show you again how to work that front post. We're going to yarn over, put your hook through. Now this is the 1, 2, 3, this is the 4th stitch on the double crochet row. Pull up a loop and make sure to pull the loop such that it is the same height as the double crochet stitch that you just worked. Yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2, and that is our front post. And again, we're going to skip this stitch, and then we're going to work on the next stitch on the single crochet row, and we're going to do a double crochet. And so this row, the second row repeat of the 4 is the first stitch of the row, and then you're going to work a front post double crochet alternating with a double crochet across. So we do a front post double crochet and a double crochet, and we're going to repeat that until we get to the end of the row. So work your front post alternating with a double crochet, and I will meet you at the end of the row. And the last stitch is just going to be a simple double crochet, and we work that and close the row. So this is how our second row this is how our second row of repeat looks like. And then we're going now to work row 5, and to work row 5 on this row, which is row 3 of the 4 row repeat, we're just going to work the single crochets. So work your single crochets, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. And that is the end of that row, and we're going to the 4th repeat row of the 4 row repeat, and we're going to start our double. It's a double crochet front post double crochet row. So we're going to start with the 2 single crochets on top of each other, and that is our first double crochet of the row. And for this row, remember, for row 4 it was front post double crochet, front post double crochet, and for this row it's going to be a double crochet, front post double crochet, and it's going to alternate like that. And so this is our first double crochet. Now the next double crochet, so where there was a front post double crochet, we work a double crochet, and where the next stitch where we worked a double crochet is now where we work a front post double crochet. So we are going to skip this single crochet and work on the row below that, and we're going to of course yarn over, and then we're going to put our hook from the back to the front like that, and then yarn over, pull the loop long enough to be the same height as the double crochet you just worked, and then yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2, and we've worked our alpine. So again, we skip that, and then the next stitch was an alpine, so means so the next stitch is a front post, meaning we're going to work a simple double crochet, and then the next stitch was a double crochet, meaning we're going to work a front post. And to work a front post, remember, you yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull it through so that it's the same height as the double crochet, and yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2, and then now this row is alternating between double crochet and front post double crochet, and we're going to do that until we get to the end of the row. The last stitch is the second last stitch is a front post double crochet, and then the last stitch is a double crochet like that. So I'm going to repeat these 4 row repeats one more time. So the first row of repeat is a row of single crochet, so work single crochet across. Okay, and the second row repeat starts with the first stitch of the row. After the first stitch of the row, repeat the sequence where you work a front post double crochet and a double crochet repeat. So the double crochet from the row below will get a front post, and the front post will get a double crochet. Repeat this until you get to the end of the row. And we finish the row with a double crochet. And on to the third row repeat. The third row repeat is just a row of single crochets. And we are done with row 3. And row 4, the last row repeat, starts of course with the first stitch of the row. And we for this row we are alternating double crochets on top of the alpines, and we are alternating double crochets on top of the front post and front post on the double crochets. So it is an alternate repeat stitch of double crochet, then front post double crochet. And that is it. Those are the 4 row repeats in order to achieve the alpine stitch. Let me finish this row and show you how it looks like. Finish with the front post. And the double crochet. So when you repeat those 4 rows, you can do as many rows as necessary for the project you're working on, and that is how to work the alpine stitch. And once you are done, for example, if you're just working the alpine stitch and nothing else, make sure to always finish with a single crochet row. Here is a patch I already did where you continue with the rows and you always finish with a single crochet row at the top, just like you did here at the bottom. It gives it a nice edging, and you can also work single crochets on the edging to give it a really nice finish. And that is how you work an alpine stitch. So we are going to work an increase on the alpine stitch. And to work an increase on the alpine stitch, so let's work the single crochet row first. So work your single crochets. I'll meet you at the end. To work an increase, of course, again, we're going to work an increase, you're going to work on the double crochet and front post double crochet row. We're going to start with the first stitch of the row, and to increase on the ends. So this stitch needs to have you need to work a front post on the stitch, but because we're increasing on the ends, the stitch you're supposed to skip, you're going to work a double crochet on the single crochet row, and you're going to work an alpine where you're supposed to work an alpine. You're going to work a front post where you are supposed to work a front post. So that one stitch has 2 stitches in it, and depending on how many stitches you need to increase in that row, I'm going to at least work for an increase on the next 5 pairs. So this is how you increase at the end. And then to increase in the middle, we're going to work a double crochet. We are supposed to work a double crochet, and then we're going to work a front post where we're supposed to work a front post, and you're going to repeat that like 2 times. Do that another one more time, that is. Yeah, and then now to make an increase, this next stitch needs to be this next stitch needs to be like a double crochet on top, right? So what you're going to do, we're going to work a double crochet on the double crochet, and then a front post on the same front post, like that. And then the next stitch is supposed to be a front post, but because we're increasing, you're going to work a double crochet, and then we're going to work a front post, and that's how we increase. So increasing in 2 stitches at once, okay, in the same place. So that's how we increase at the end, that's how we increase in the middle of stitches. And then now we're going to work the next 4 normal one, like 4 without increases. So a double crochet on the front post and a front post on the double crochet. And then now again we're going to increase. So this is supposed to be a double crochet. So instead of skipping this stitch, we're going to work a double crochet there. Sorry, double crochet there. And we're going to do a front post on the front post. Okay, like that. And then the next stitch, this is supposed to be a front post, but you're going to work a double crochet on it. And then we are going to work a front post on the double crochet. And then the next 2 we will work our normal stitches, whereby it's just a double crochet and a front post, a double crochet and a front post, like that. And then the last stitch, is a front post. I'm going to work a double crochet, and then the very last stitch here is a double crochet, like that. So that has been our row of increase. That is how we've increased on the side, and that is how we've increased on the middle. And so the next row is going to be a row of single crochets. Finish your single crochets and meet you at the end. And the next row, so the next row we are not going to do an increase. We'll be doing an increase like the next row that you're supposed to work the front post and double crochet. We're not going to do an increase. We're just going to do each stitch where it's supposed to be, and then we'll increase on the next one. That's depending on how long or how many increases you're working. So let's start with the first stitch of the row. And then this stitch is double crochet, so we're going to work a front post on it, like that. And then this front post, we're just going to work a double crochet, and then you're going to alternate like that. So front post, double crochet, front post, double crochet, and you're going to do that until you get to the end of the row. You see where we were having increases? So this is a front post, this is a double crochet, it is getting a front post like that. So we're going to alternate like that until you get to the end of the row, and that is how you will have increased on your alpine stitch pattern. Okay. Work the last stitch and the last double crochet of the row. Don't forget that one. And so this is how you make an increase. So if you need to increase more rows in order to align them neatly and not make them feel like crowded in one place, remember we started by increasing at the end. So at the ends you can always increase. So after you do your single crochet row and you come here, you want to increase, go ahead and increase at the very end. And then now where we were doing increases, for example, let me try and find those increase rows. Yeah, for example, like here, these are our increase rows. So this time when you're working increases, don't work on these rows where we did increases. Work on these stitches that didn't have an increase prior to that row. I don't know if I'm making sense. So don't like, for example, if you're coming here, don't increase on this stitch, rather increase on these stitches at the sides. Do you remember the 4 stitches we were working, like front post double crochet, front post double crochet, and then we were increasing on front post and double crochet. So don't work on the increases, work rather on the alternative stitches that didn't have an increase from that row. And that's how you can keep going, increasing to whatever number of rows or length that you need to work on for whatever project you're working on. We are going to work a decrease using the alpine stitch, and to work a decrease we're going to, of course, start with the first stitch of the row, sorry. And so we're going to start by working these first 2 stitches just how they're supposed to be worked. So this is this was a double crochet, so it's going to be a front post. So we just work our front post and our double crochet on the next stitch like we're supposed to. And now we're going to decrease, double crochet these 2 together. And to do that, you're going to yarn over, work your front post, but it's going to be unfinished. So an unfinished front post looks like you yarn over, pull up a loop, pull it through to make it long. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2, stop there, yarn over again, work your double crochet on the next, yarn over, pull through. So yarn over, pull through the first 2, you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3, and you have worked these 2 together, and that is our first decrease. And then the next stitch we're going to the next stitch again we're going to work just front post and double crochet like usually, as a front post and a double crochet, and then you're going to decrease on the next, and to decrease on the next we are going to work a half front post like that, and then yarn over and work a half double crochet like that. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's our second decrease. And then the next 2 stitches just work a front post, and the next one work a double crochet like that. And then the next one is again a decrease, so half a front post and then half a double crochet, and then finish them all together. And that's how you work a decrease. So front post, double crochet, and then half front post, and then half double crochet like that. And then you've double crochet them together. And then now the last 2 stitches, just usual front post and a double crochet, and then finish the row with the double crochet at the end. And that was our first row of decrease. And then the next row we're just going to work our usual single crochet row. I will meet you at the end. So this single crochet row, you will see when you double crochet together, it became 1 stitch. So that's why you just have 1 double crochet on top of the 2 double crochets together. And now our second row of decrease looks like this. So remember these 2 that we worked without working together, we'll work these 2 together, and this one that was worked as 1 stitch will be worked as 1 stitch. And so for that we are going to work our first stitch, as well as we're going to work our first stitch like that. And then now we're going to work these 2 together. And since it is a front post, we start with a double crochet. So we'll work a double crochet, an unfinished double crochet, and then yarn over and work a front post double crochet like that. So those are 2 together. And the next one, since this is a front post, this one we're going to work it as a double crochet. So we'll just work that double crochet. Let me repeat again. So because this is a front post, we're going to work an unfinished double crochet, and to work that unfinished double crochet, you yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2, and then yarn over. This is supposed to be a front post, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull it through to make sure it is the same height as your double crochet, yarn over, pull through the first 2, you have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3, and that's how you do a reduction. And then since this was since this is a front post, this is going to be just a normal double crochet like that. And then work the 2 double crochets together, and I will meet you at the end of the row. And the last stitches on the row were 2 separate ones, and then now we work an unfinished double crochet and an unfinished front post together, and that's how we have done a reduction for the second row. And that's how a reduction looks like. You can see it has already started coming into itself, and that is how you work a reduction. I hope this is clear. So if we were to work a third row of decrease, let me just work it and show you how it would look like. So again, work the row of single crochets. I'll meet you at the very end. I'll meet you at the end of the row. Yeah, and that's how a decreased that's how the decrease looks like. And if we were to decrease on another row, this is how it would look like. So basically this is a front post. These 2 together act as our front post. So we're going to work the first stitch of the round of the row, sorry. And then since this is a front post, we're going to work a double crochet unfinished, and then yarn over, work a front post unfinished, and work them together. Again, this is a front post, you're going to work an unfinished double crochet, and then yarn over, work an unfinished front post, and then together like that. So that is our third row of reduction, in case you are working a project that requires reducing on rows that follow each other like that. Yeah. And this is how the reduction would look like. Yeah. So that's it for my tutorial today, and that is how you can achieve an alpine stitch. This is if you're working with a single color, and I have one here if you're working with 2 colors. So the only difference is the steps are all the same. The only difference is that you change color on the single crochet rows, and this is how it will look like. Or if you work single colors, this is how it looks like. So you can at least try and change things up by just making sure that the single crochet rows are worked on a different color, and the front post and double crochet rows are worked on a different color, and it can give you something like this. That's it from me for today. Thank you for joining me on this tutorial. I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.